it's Mel with the Quilting Room with Mel, and I am back with another vintage sewing machine. Today we are looking at the National Two Spool, and this one, it dates from 1924. It is a people-powered machine, meaning that we run it with our feet. There is no motor on it. I will show you how to thread the machine. I'm not going to show you how to wind a bobbin, but we will talk about the bobbin a little bit, and then of course show you how to sew on it. Okay, I have the bobbin out for the two spool machine, and you can see it doesn't look like a normal bobbin. It actually holds an entire spool of thread like this. And this canister is the most important part when you go to look at one of these machines, if you're going to purchase one, to make sure it is still in the machine. They are almost impossible to find out there on the net. And you just drop the spool in. You pull there's a notch here that you pull the thread through. Our spring is replaced. We broke the spring. That happens when you're dealing with machines this age that have seen a lot of thread through. So we did have to do a repair. But there'll be a notch right here above that you pull it through, and then one up above, and your bobbin is threaded. And then it just sits underneath the door here like any other bobbin. I'm going to put the bobbin back in, and then I'll show you how to thread the machine. Okay, I'm going to show you how to thread up the machine. The first thing I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to point out all the parts and kind of talk you through it, and then I'll actually thread it. It is kind of a different threading way than what we're used to doing, so it can be... Okay, we'll pull the thread off the spool, and the first place we're going to go is right here in this little tensioner. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to wrap all the way around this. This is a tensioner too, and it doesn't work like we normally do, where we have two discs that we kind of thread the thread between. And this actually, the thread runs on a pulley and the tension is applied pressure here. And then we're going to come down to here, come back up and feed the eye. Back down to this spot right here, and then we will thread our needle. It'll probably make a little bit more sense with thread coming through. So here we go. There is a notch here for us to see. Make our full loop under here. This is the important part. When you feed the eye, you want to go from the front of the machine to the back of the machine. Just like that, down here through this thread guide, and our machine threads left to right for our needle. Just like that. And now we're ready to pull our bobbin thread up. If you look at the bottom of this plate for our bobbin, there is a notch here and a wide opening. We have to get our thread through there, or the needle will not pick up our bobbin thread. Sometimes you just have to hold your mouth right to get these guides back on. There we go. And just like that, our bobbin thread is up. And we'll hook it just like we do any machine and pull it to the back. You can get your scissors in that loop. There we go. And that is it. We've threaded up our two spool. I'm going to do some moving around and we'll get ready to sew on it. Okay, so we have our machine threaded up. The bobbin's back in. It's time to sew. The edge of this presser foot is not 1/4 of an inch. That's why you see this yellow tape down. The tape actually is our guide for 1/4 of an inch. We also notice the feed dogs are the same length, which is kind of unusual in the treadle machines. This is more like a modern machine in the way that the feed dogs work, and I like that really well. I'm going to treadle on this machine. I'm going to tell you right now, I am not the treadler in this household. That is my husband. But I'm going to give it my best shot. So this is just a piece of fabric I've got laying around, some old binding left over from a project. I do have to reach up and start it with my hand so I can feel how the machine is going to start with my feet, and then we just pedal away. Well, of course you have to bring your needle up, just like any machine. Cut our threads off, and there is our stitch. We're going to get some camera work so you can see it real well. You can see it makes a fabulous stitch. It looks like any other sewing machine we've reviewed so far. You can't really tell that you were the one responsible for making the needle go up and down. That's it for today. Join me next time when I bring you another vintage sewing machine.